gentlemen, brothers and sisters, music lovers across the planet, welcome back to Live and Loud with the Lord. Nelson, that is, the big guy with the big show. And this is where the music, the stories, and the culture all collide in one powerful conversation. Yeah. Now listen, we all know the artists, we know the songs, we know the iconic moments on stage, but there is an entire world that lives behind the curtain. The world of the people who make the show actually happen. The lights, the sound, the timing, the movement of an entire tour from city to city. Now, tonight's guest is one of the professionals who has mastered that world. This is a man who has worked in the engine room of the music business, a production and tour manager who understands what it takes to build a live show from the ground up and take it across the road. This is an amazing dude right here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you. From organizing massive productions to keeping tours running like a well-oiled machine, to working with artists and crews to deliver incredible experiences for fans around the world. This man has seen it all, the long nights, the crazy stories, the moments of pure magic that only happen in live music. So family, turn your volume up, get comfortable, and get ready for an amazing conversation. Please welcome to Live and Loud with the Lord, Nelson, that is, Rick Fantl. Yeah! What's going on, young man?
Hey, Lord, how are you, man? That's quite an introduction. Hope I can live up to it.
Hey, man, what are you talking about, man? Listen, it's all about you, man. It's all about your greatness, man. We're going to do what we do, man. So first of all, welcome once again to Live and Loud with the Lord. And it's a real pleasure to have you, no doubt. And so a lot of people see, the artists on stage, but they don't always realize how many moving parts are involved in making a tour and production actually happen. So tonight we're going to pull back the curtain, if you don't mind, and let people see what life is really like behind the scenes. So my first question always, though, I like to ask is, where are you from, young man?
Well, South Carolina, of course, and grew up between Greenville and Low Country down outside Beaufort, an island called St. Helena Island, a little town called Frogmore. And my dad was started the technical education centers in South Carolina. So really? in the 60s, around 64, 65, they started Greenville Tech out on Pleasantburg Highway there. Mm-hmm. And then later on, he developed Beaufort Tech. Oh, so wow. I was moving with him. And then, of course, my senior year of high school, he went up to Prince George Community College in Prince George, Maryland. So I went up and did my senior year of high school in Bowie, Maryland. And then we came back to Frogmore, where he continued with Beaufort Tech until he went to Delaware Tech. Wow. so yeah, I was I'm a South Carolina boy. I did my AA degree at USC Beaufort. Yeah. Went to Columbia my junior year, met some of your buddies, and had a great time there. And it was just a wonderful time, I think, growing up in the 70s. And then I headed out after my junior year at USC. I got fortunate enough to go to California and get in the music business, and been there ever since.
Man, that's awesome. So I want to come back to South Carolina, because I'm from Charleston. So okay. Yes, indeed. So what was the best thing about being from South Carolina to you?
Just at that time, it was just the freedom and the beauty of it all, and just being able to pick up, go to the beach in the morning, hang on the beach with your friends, and good killer tie stick everywhere, and find bales of pot that they throw over boats in the intercoastal waterway when they're getting chased by the cops. So that was never an issue, and it was just a really different time. It was awesome.
Yes, indeed, and I know I'm just a few years younger than you, but those 70s was like such a great time, man. And music is like a time machine to me. When I listen to that music from the 70s, it's like I'm back there. I'm a child again. And it's just really amazing. So how did you first get into the world of tour and production management?
So in 78,
Mhm.
I was going out to California to find my girlfriend who had gone out to Santa Barbara. And then on my way out there, I got diverted to San Francisco area, and I'd met this great bunch of people in down in Beaufort with the Peace Corps.
Mhm.
So, and they were from Oregon and the San Francisco Bay Area. So then I just took my chance and I went up and got with another young lady in San Francisco, and I just walked in off the street and started. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to get into music somehow. So I just walked in off the street into a sound company at the time, very small kind of sound company. One owner, one guy, great guy, Jerry Pfeffer, my mentor, and he put me to work and started painting boxes in his warehouse. And then one day, a tour was going out with Kenny Loggins, and one of the guys that was supposed to go didn't show up. And they said, "Well, hop in the truck. You're going on tour." So that was,
That's awesome. Let me stop you for a minute. Were you supposed to have another one of your guys come in?
yeah, yeah. Another guy
Ed?
was to go on the tour, and he didn't show up. He turned out to
No,
be a
no. I'm
junkie.
talking about. Do you have a guy named Ed Ryan?
Oh, Ed. Oh, Ed's my yeah, one of my he's my dearest friend.
Yeah, he's about to come in. I'm gonna admit him. I didn't know he was coming in. Do you mind?
Oh no, no, Ed, my man.
All right, hold on a sec. Let's see. Ed, we're waiting for you to come in. We can't hear you right now.
So Ed is one of the best tour managers in the history of music.
Yeah, man. Awesome, man.
Doobie
This is
Brothers.
a surprise for
Hello
me.
there.
I appreciate it. Let's see if we get him in. Ed, are you there?
I am here.
There you go. So
Yeah.
now, are we just gonna have a picture of you, or are we gonna get some video too?
Oh, geez. And I'll tell you what.
Come on, you handsome devil.
I got a face that sunk 1,000 ships.
Oh no, man! Listen, you just as handsome. Listen, I look at.
Let's
I don't
see
know if you
where.
guys can see behind me. I went out there and made like a montage, a lot of pictures, and stuff of you guys. So listen, nah, dude, I saw you all through the pictures when I was doing this. So nah, I don't want to hear that.
Where am I? Let me see. I got to figure out how to work this damn thing. Okay, virtual background.
So just quick background. Ed's my best friend.
You don't want to see that one, huh? I got a lot of.
Well, listen, it's
that's
on
a
you.
cute one.
It's however you want to do it, man. It's all
There you go.
love. Well,
Uh,
there you go. There you go.
there I am.
Come on, man. Look, man. Listen, this just made it
I got
even better, man.
my
Thank
hand.
you, man. Well, welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you, man. Yes,
Thanks so
indeed.
much.
It's a good surprise for me, man. Well, we just got started, man, but it's all love, man, and everything's going well so far. So let me ask you this question: where are you from, young man?
Where am I from? Well, let's see. I was born in Portsmouth, Virginia, in the
Uh-huh.
Naval Hospital in 1951.
Ah, and listen, so you're military. So my father is in the military. I'm a military kid also. So but it's love. It's love. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll go on to what I was going to ask you, Rick. So what was the first tour or production job that made you realize this is what I want to do?
Like I said, it started out. I was doing sound. Got into the sound part of it first, and then so at that time it was all regional stuff you get with a band and just tour.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get to New York, the band would continue on to Europe, and they go, okay, well, you're going home to California because we're picking up sound over there. And I went, well, wait a minute. So the guys that work for the band get to go, but I don't because I work for the sound company. Well,
Right.
forget that, man. I'm going to go for a band. So I was lucky enough in 1984 to work for a band called Night Ranger,
Right.
and and it was just a meteoric rise for those guys. Like the second album, they had a hit, Sister Christian, and
Mm-hmm.
it put them just on a trajectory like no one, it was one of those magical trajectories. And we were in Reno, Nevada one night, and we had a production manager at the time who was from the might say the biker mold,
Okay.
leather jacket, thought he was the toughest guy on the block. So we had an opening act called Yngwie Malmsteen
Ingrid Mountain, yeah, right.
at a show. So we go backstage, and there was a big tussle going on, and so the production manager at the time had Yngwie Malmsteen's manager up against the wall, ready to cold cock him.
Wow.
And so we broke him up, So at the time, well, Ed knows, but Bruce Cohn, the Doobie Brothers manager, was managing Night Ranger.
Hmm.
So he goes, "Okay, I want everybody up, and after the show, we're all coming to a meeting." And like we're like, "Okay, well, we're all getting fired, right?" So we go up there, and he's all flustered and pissed off, and he just goes around the room and he goes, "Rich, you're out." And then he just points at me, he goes, "You're production manager." And I went,
Wow.
"Okay, cool." Because at that time I'd been doing monitors and Fitz's keyboard tech.
Hmm.
And I go, "Yeah, sure, no problem."
Wow.
Not a clue what that meant. But at the time, Chuck Lutz, it was the tour manager, and one of my another dear friend, mentor, he just kind of took me under his wing and said, "Hey, we're going to do this together." And within, so probably within 2 or 3 months, I was production managing arenas, an
Wow.
arena show.
Wow.
And so I just got kind of thrown in the fire, and came out okay.
Oh man,
But
that's awesome. Man. Well, Ed, what about you, young man?
Oh, I thought this was all about Rick and you.
Well, it is, but I'm just saying you're here now. He just
I was just coming to make sure he's telling the truth. I know where the skeletons are buried. But he could say the same about me.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. That's all. Well, listen, if you just want to tag along, it's all love, and you can jump in wherever you want to, man. It is really about Rick, but hey, I'm just happy that you're here, man. It just adds to the aura and the mystique of the show, man. So thank you very, very much. So Rick, so for people who don't know, what exactly does a tour manager or production manager do day to day?
Well, I'd say the tour manager handles more of the band, more of the band travel, band logistics, getting them to their hotel, getting them to the gig, getting them on stage, making sure, their round crackers and cheese is cut right.
That's right. Yes,
And
indeed.
they have their chemical balance in place or whatever they need. And the production manager works directly with the tour manager, but he's more the liaison of the technical side between the band and the promoter. So, and that's what I prefer, because you get to work from during the day instead of waiting around all day for a show to start, which is boring.
Indeed.
But the production manager just makes sure that all the technical specs are there that the band requires, so there are two ways of doing that. Either the promoter provides the sound and lighting that's in the spec of the band, or the band carries their production on the road with them, their sound, lights, backline, risers, whatever.
Right.
How much from one truck to 120 trucks if you're Taylor Swift. So so that's the difference. Babysitting the band or babysitting the soundboard and the light board.
Yeah. I think about Daniel when I was on tour with Stuck Mojo overseas, and I think about Daniel really taking care of us like that. He was our tour manager, or Toad. May Toad rest in peace. But they really took care of us. They really did. And then the things that you're speaking about, I really got to see that on a bigger level when we toured with Volbeat. When we toured with Volbeat, that was like such an amazing, and when you're saying, a different amount of buses and a tractor trailer just carrying all the merch, and it was amazing, man. So I really enjoyed that tour, man. I missed it, man. Michael and all the guys are really, really amazing. So
absolutely. I've done everything.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So everything from one truck and 8 or 10 crew guys, and then you pick up 12 locals to 120 crew guys,
right?
And 60 trucks and Monsters of Rock. That's a touring circus when it's that big. When you have a universal crew that goes to every show, but then you have leapfrog and sound and lighting crews because they have to go jump to every other city in order to get everything in place.
Not yeah, and I understand that well because just once again with the Volbeat tour, other tours that I was a part of, we did our load in and load out. When we were
Right.
with Volbeat, we touched nothing. Me being the front man, I wasn't touching a whole lot anyway. But you
Yeah,
know,
you didn't need anything, man. You just carried a microphone in your pocket.
well, listen. But like Rich told me, Rich was like, he said, Rich Ward, of course, who was with Fozzy and it was, one of the originators of Stuck Bojo. But Rich was just like, hey, man, you're the lead singer. You can't touch anything. Because I was helping all the other guys, my guys from Napa, California, Vengeance, my boy Ryan. He's one of my best, just like, Ed is to you. Ryan's one of my guys, man. And so, just going through all those things and hearing you speak about it, man, it just takes me back, man. It's just like a time machine. I can see it and feel it. But that was like the greatest tour in the world, man. We had a great time, man. So,
Yeah, and I've been so lucky to be like have tour managers, Ed for one, and then Chuck Lutz and Lowell Halsey, just these guys that are just pillars of the industry and took me under their wing and taught me how to do things right. So,
awesome, man. Awesome. I love it. So what are some of the biggest challenges people would never expect about life on the road? And I'd like to hear from both of you on this one.
the biggest challenge is just keeping your head in a good place,
Right.
Yeah.
just trying to keep the mental part of it. I mean, there's two ways to look at this. The people that got into it just to party with the band, they don't last long because they just burn out.
Right.
They burn themselves right out. But people that really take it serious and want to do it right and make a profession of it can, you can do it if it's all who you surround yourself with and
Right.
what bad habits you stay away from.
No, that's
Or make it to the other side from.
no, that's very true. So Ed, how many temperamental artists have you had to deal with?
Oh, I've had a few. I'll tell you, I think Rick is, one of the record holders. Personally, Rick's very humble. He's worked with so many guys. I was fortunate to meet Rick. When did we meet? Late 70s or something?
78, 79 with
Yeah,
band.
somewhere around there. He was doing sound. I started with a guy. I was in bands, and then a friend of mine asked me one day, if I wanted to come move the gear, and I said, what? He was playing in a band with this guy named Van Morrison. This was back
Wow.
in 1972.
Yeah.
And I said, no, because we were playing and, the guys in the band I was in, everybody'd be too loose and be out running around after the show. I thought, man, we're going to get our gear stolen.
Hmm.
But, so I didn't want to do it. But then they said, well, look, they'll put you in a hotel and they'll feed you and they'll give you some money per diem, it was called. I didn't
Right.
know what the hell that was. But they said, yeah, we'll give you like $25 a day per diem and feed you, put you in a hotel, and we'll pay you $75 a day. Well, in
Yeah.
1972,
That was
that
great.
that was a lot of money.
Yes,
So
sir.
I thought I was just going to go move some gear. We're playing up in Lake Tahoe,
Hmm.
and that's about 3 hours from here, and where I was over in Marin County. And anyhow, went over there and kind of put it together who this guy was I was working for. My friends told me, well, he likes the gear set up really tight. He wanted to be enveloped and surrounded by his guys.
Hmm.
And so I did that. And I put that piano right there, stuck the drums right in the nook of the grand piano, and Van was right in front of that. And then we did a sound check, and I heard him singing, and I go, I kind of knew who Van Morrison was,
Right.
but then I put it together that this was the guy who sang Gloria,
Hmm.
which was the first song I ever learned how to play guitar
Oh,
to,
wow. Wow.
when I was a younger kid. And, he sang great. And as speaking of temperamental, uh, that
Just a
night
little.
we go to it's a two-show situation for 2 days. He hadn't been on the road in a bit. I didn't know Van's background. He was kind of He didn't like the business,
Right.
and they wanted to pigeonhole him, and he didn't want to be pigeonholed. Anyhow, we go to do the show. Van goes out there with the band, and he sings a couple of songs, and I go, "Oh man, this is great," And he says, "Okay, now the band's going to play a song," and my friend was singing, and he was singing his song, and all of a sudden I'm going down, I'm tripping, and I'm seeing my future. Okay, me and my friend, he's going to get a deal. I'm going to go with him. I'm going to meet the connections with the record companies. Then I'm going to go back with my band, and we'll get a deal. And and the
Wow.
rest was history.
Right.
I mean, I had my life planned out in about 3 minutes there. And anyhow, my friend's singing, and then they do another song. Then they do a blues, and somebody goes, Eddie, where's Van? Go get Van. We're running out of shit to do. Pardon my French.
No, you're
And
good.
I go, what? I thought this was like planned. And I go running back to the dressing room, go to knock on the door, and just as I'm about to knock, I hear a voice in there, and it was a management guy from LA. And I didn't know any of this stuff. I just played around in clubs and stuff. And uh, I hear the guy say, "Listen, you little son of a bitch, if you don't get out there, if you don't go back out there, I'm going to break your neck."
Wow.
And then Van says, but didn't you see them? They were all staring at me, and I go, whoa, this guy's got stage fright,
Right.
and I mean, and he'd been around, he'd been around since he was a kid. But something was up his clock that day. But anyhow, they put the opening act back on. The crowd was going bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. They were stomping. I thought, oh my God, there's going to be a lynching. It's every man for himself. And just as I was grabbing my coat, the band comes back. Where's Van? I go, he's in there, and it doesn't sound good.
Right.
And all of a sudden, that door flies open, and here comes Van. And he starts walking out. He said, "Let's go." And the band's like little ducks behind him. They're walking, and then he stops at me, and he goes. Van says, "Listen, you go out and you tell that light man, no spots,
Yep.
and just 50% blues and red. That's all I want. And if he puts a spotlight on me, tell him I'm going to come out there and I'll kill him." And I go, whoa, So I went out there and told him. Van went back on, and he was tremendous. Probably
Right.
one of the best singers I've ever heard. I mean,
Awesome.
he was into it, whatever it was. So yeah, 3 days turned into about 19 years. And went through the ranks of being a roadie, and me and Rick met. Rick was doing sound. I said, "Man, we're going to not just do, we're not going to have local sound. We're going to bring our monitors out on the road and stuff. So we started bringing our own stuff." And Rick came out and toured. And, I was fortunate to get a couple of gigs. He was always working. Rick worked for everybody.
Yeah, I can
I'll
see,
tell you.
yes.
I used to ask him when it was dry. There's in from the road. Van's always quitting the business, and hey, you got any gigs? What are you doing? I'm working on Aerosmith. That was the early Aerosmith, or Anyhow, he could tell you a thing or two. We had a great time out there. We worked with Van together, and this one-hit wonder from the UK. They dethroned Michael Jackson about 1982. They're called Dexy's Midnight Runners, and they
Right.
had a song called "Come On Eileen."
Yeah, come on, Eileen, indeed.
I didn't know who these guys were, and they went from nothing to "It's All About Them." And then Michael Jackson dethroned him. I forget what was up. Was it Billie Jean was up first, and then they
Billie
went
Jean
to
first.
#1 with "Come On Eileen," and the next week, "Beat It" came in, and they were gone. And they're like the top 2 or 3 of whatever happened to, or where are they now on MTV? Anyhow,
Great song. Great song.
Yeah.
Great song.
Great life.
So,
Great
Lloyd,
life. Wild.
you're familiar with Carowinds, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Carowinds up by Charlotte there,
Of
or
course, yeah.
by Rock Hill, South
I've been there
Carolina.
many times. Uh-huh.
So, so we were on tour with Dexys, right? And Come Eileen was like #1. We were
Uh-huh.
touring all over. So they got booked into Carowinds. And so then all of a sudden we were in Philadelphia. And our next show was, then we were supposed to go to Carowinds and then to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get this call going, well, the Carowinds didn't open for the year yet.
Right.
So they decided it was going to cost them too much to open the park for the day to have the concert. So I had to drive from Philadelphia. I had the crew with me.
Wow.
We drive to the front gate of Carowinds. I get an envelope with the check for the whole show. A check, and then we left and we drove to Atlanta to the next show. So they booked them and they never did the show there.
Got paid though. They got paid though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Gotta get the money.
Yeah.
What's so wild is that when you said "Come on, Eileen," of course, all I can see, I'm super visual. So I see the video and I got goosebumps all over because I'm telling you, that's my youth, you know. And I just remember that. And listen, you telling these stories is all. Listen, man, I'm so geek. I've got to calm myself down now. You guys are you got me going already. You got me going.
That song had a hook. I'll tell you what.
Yes,
that
indeed.
song had a hell of a hook. Still
My
does.
goodness.
Yeah,
Woo.
I didn't make it to ever be a #1. I thought, well, that's a little catchy, but yeah, it went up there. We were really privileged, both of us, to work for a number of artists that were really great. I mean, yeah, those guys were definitely interesting. Kevin Rowland and Dexys Midnight Runners. God bless them.
Here's a great van story for you. So we in 90 we were out and we were doing big amphitheaters like Merriweather Post Pavilion, and so Lake Compounce was outside of Hartford, Connecticut, and that was it was a big amusement park, kind of like Carowinds, big theater there, big outdoor, held like 18,000 people. So we're there on Van's birthday. So all of a sudden, so he goes on stage. All of a sudden, these people down the front roll out this big, huge banner. Happy birthday, Van. So, man, you could just see the scowl on his face. So he calls Wooly Roach. He had the Scottish tech and stage manager. He calls him and says, Wooly, go get that. So Willie jumps off the front of the stage, goes out there, rips the sign down. So then all of a sudden, 18,000 people. Happy birthday. Van comes marching right by me. He goes, where's Pilster, his manager? I go, I think he's suddenly goes, get him. They care more about my fucking birthday than my music.
Wow.
Yeah. Got in the car and drove off. Lights come up, show's over.
Wow.
But he wasn't always like that, I mean, he had his days. I mean, Van's more, there's musicians and artists that are entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a polished act, they got a routine and all that.
Right.
And Van was the artiste. We always we did make sure that there weren't any straight razors around, that he'd be missing an ear or something like that. I don't know. That's I mean, he is always good to me. He was a great singer.
Mm-hmm.
We have the odd story or two where he was a bit moody or had a day or something. But still, he could go and he could dress an audience down. Somebody will say something he didn't like, and he'll go from the deck, from the stage, and read them the riot act, and then he'll start singing again. The crowd all of a sudden go, "Run on, man, run on," and they love it. He's one of the greatest, the greatest singers.
So awesome.
Rick's worked with so many guys.
Listen, let me tell you guys something. It's like, I have my format of how I like to do things, and I have my questions or whatever like that. It's just like, man, I almost want to throw these questions out. Because these stories and everything is so beautiful. Listen, just what you guys have said so far has just been super amazing. I'm more than excited and honored to have you guys just have this conversation, no doubt. So let me ask another question, just because, and I hope you guys go over here or over there. It doesn't matter. I'm with it. I'm with it. So what skills do you think are essential for someone who wants to do what you guys do?
Patience. Patience, organization. You have to be organized because you're dealing with, you got 900 different things on your plate and they all
Right.
got to be. So, I mean, the way I always looked at it was, so you advance the shows. So there's a number of people that are all doing different stuff,
Hmm.
getting the crew, the local crew together, getting the catering together, getting the transportation together, whatever it is. And you have to make sure they know the times, they know exactly what they need to provide for the day to make things run smooth.
Right.
Otherwise, you run around chasing somebody down and asking them, "Hey, well, why?" Well, I didn't know. No, so you never want anyone to say, "I didn't know," because that's
Right.
bullshit. Then it comes back on you. So my whole approach was my show day should be like a day off because
Hmm.
everyone there, from the minute I walk in a building at 8 in the morning, everybody there knows exactly what
Supposed to
they're
do. Right.
what they're supposed to do that
Yeah.
day, what time, and everything should go as smooth as possible. And that's just so I look at it like it's my breakdown, my communication fault. If someone, you know, if the runner isn't at the hotel to pick up, the drummer to come over and check his gear at 2 p.m.,
Right.
oh, I was in traffic. Well, no, that's not an excuse. You have a gig, you do it. And but there have been the odd occasion like we sent a runner. So the local runner is the person that the promoter provides who's supposed to know the town. And if you
Right.
need something locally, you give them cash, they go get it, keep the receipts. Well, we sent a guy once in Kamloops up in Prince George
Oh
for
yeah.
for spring water. So he was gone for hours and hours. And he comes back and we're like, "Where the hell have you been?" He has two buckets, like 5-gallon buckets, fucking water with twigs and leaves in there. He goes, "And I had to go find a spring out in the woods." He had no clue to go to the store and get spring water. He went
That's
and
awesome.
found a running. Oh God.
Got spring water.
like like in Ann Arbor where it was full of deadheads. So if you played Ann Arbor, the runners would show up on bicycles. They wouldn't even have a car. They just show up.
Wow.
And so you're like, "Oh no, that's not gonna that no. We need someone with a car and a license and a brain." So it's just like, you always there's always something to chase.
Now that's one of the best stories I heard.
Yeah.
That is
There's always
awesome, man.
something. There's always something. You know,
Right.
your day can sometimes the best laid plans.
Hmm.
I mean, we advance for months out in front of us
Yes.
of a tour, and then as you get closer and closer, you call on them back. You're going refreshing, okay, and any changes and all that, and
Hmm.
you got it down. But you get to the show day, and before showtime, anything can go wrong. Man,
Right.
we've had entire. I was with the Doobie Brothers. I was their tour manager for
Hmm.
about 18 years,
Wow.
and
Doobie.
we did a show in Aruba,
Hmm.
and God, beautiful place. It was kind of like Arizona with a beautiful ocean around it, or
Right.
something. They had them saguaro cactus and stuff, red dirt, and then this beautiful Caribbean Sea.
Right.
And we were playing. It was a couple days. Pat Benatar was playing, but Arturo Sandoval was playing.
Hmm.
I was so stoked about that myself. God, what a legend!
Yes.
And I mean, you have to, jazz guy, to know Arturo. But anyhow, we get there and it's sound check time. The doobies are up there. Everybody's doing it. All of a sudden, boom! The entire power system just
Wow.
blew up, exploded, and it's different, especially in the islands. It's kind of can be manana time, and
Hmm.
anyhow, so we were. Had guys there working on this stuff and trying to get us power back and generators and everything. and it didn't look like it was going to happen. It looked like the show was going to be canceled,
Hmm.
and you're freaking out, and you're going dollars and cents, or
Yeah.
it's all a disappointment because the artists, the musicians, their whole thing is, they live
Yeah.
to
To
perform,
perform, yes.
and you're there and you're that close and it's not going to happen. And, everybody goes through changes. But all of a sudden, at the very last minute, they get that power up and running, we make sure that it's not going to electrocute anybody, be like
Right.
Stone the Crows back in the old days. But yeah, the gig comes off. You might be sweating it, going through all kinds of changes. Your stomach is just in knots and twisted, and right before it's go time, boom, there it is. You hit it. You do the show. Everybody's happy. I mean, there's that magic from that transfers comes across in music from the stage to the people, and that's what it's all about.
Yes, indeed.
And a
I
couple
always
of
say
bucks.
it's a definite energy transference
Yeah,
from the artist to the crowd back to the artist. Man, there's nothing better when they know
yeah.
your songs and they're singing everything. And we were in Russia. Russia was amazing when I was with Stuck Mojo. Hungary was amazing when I was with Mojo. And London was amazing. Most of the places I went was amazing with Stuck
Yeah.
Mojo. But just feeling that love from the fans is a great thing. So when you're speaking about that, and let me tell you what's so great when you guys are going into things and answering questions without me even asking them. It's a beautiful thing. So, man, listen, I'm so excited about this, man. This is I like to say my thing is this is next level nice. This is next level nice. It's on another level for me. So I
Thank you,
appreciate both
Lord.
of you guys, man. There's no doubt. So,
You just be the ringleader and you lasso them questions as you keep us ADD boys, in line here. You
no,
fire
no, no. I
away.
want you guys. I want you guys to feel free. I want you guys to do whatever, because that's going to make it good. Where it's not just so controlled. No, I want you to feel free to do whatever you want to do. So I love it, man. I really do. So
I I just saw I was going to be here laughing at Rick.
we're laughing together, so that's a good
Yeah.
thing. That's a great thing.
I'm just playing.
Glad to have you, brother.
Indeed, no, we're very thankful and honored, young man. So what is one of the most memorable live shows you've ever been a part of?
Oh God, so many.
I
Well,
know it's many, but
I want to touch base because 40 years in the 40 years in rock and roll, but two of my most memorable days of my life had to do with comedy.
mm-hmm.
So, just, so the first one was there was a club in San Francisco called the Boarding House,
Okay.
where
Yeah.
a lot of people got their start. Steve Martin and God, what's her name? The famous comedian with Jane Fonda on that show with the old ladies.
Oh, Lily Tomlin.
Yeah, Lily Tomlin, just all kinds of people. So the owner of the club didn't pay his taxes, so he got in a lot of financial problems. So they're going to throw a benefit for him, and they got it together and they rented out San Francisco Civic Auditorium, and so Steve Martin was headlining. They sold out like 6,500 tickets,
Wow.
and we were doing the sound for it, sound on stage, the sound company.
Mhm.
I was there, and all of a sudden, this unknown kid comes in. We give him a microphone, and he went out there and he just stole the whole night. And it was the first night Robin Williams ever
Robin
performed
Williams. Wow.
Yeah.
in San Francisco, and it was just like the most unbelievable, amazing thing I've ever seen. Was what he did that night, being a total unknown and coming out there and having 6,500 people that would just fucking eat out of his hand. He just stole the whole show. No one could touch him.
Awesome.
And another funny one was before Richard Pryor did Live on Sunset Strip,
Yep, uh-huh.
did a string of shows on the West Coast, and Patti LaBelle was the opening act.
Mhm.
We got hired by Patti LaBelle to be her sound company. So the theaters in the round, I don't know if you're familiar.
I know
There
what
was
you're talking
one,
about. Uh-huh.
there was one down in San Carlos, the Circle Star
Right.
Theater. It was a
Hmm.
famous theater, and people
Hmm.
all sit around
Right.
down there. So I was the monitor engineer. So I would be next to, so I was doing the monitors for Patti LaBelle,
Gotcha.
but then I had to be at the monitor board for Richard Pryor,
Hmm.
and just to keep the system up and running, sit there. And he was fucking amazing, just unbelievable. So we're at Circle Star Theater, and I see him. He's out there, and he puts the mic down. He steps on the cable, kind of jerks it. So he broke the cable and the mic. So what wasn't working? So I immediately run up there, give him a spare microphone. So he's got the mic that was working and the one that wasn't working. So he's like, motherfucker, MF this, MF that. And he comes over. So I go back down. I'm sitting at the monitor. He goes, look at this, $1 million worth of equipment. It takes a white MFer to run it. And an ugly one, too. So he's just riffing on me. And so then finally, at the end, he goes, ladies and gentlemen, Frogmore, my electricity fixing MFer. I'll never forget that as long as I live. But,
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. That's awesome. Listen, Patti LaBelle is one of my wife's favorite
Oh,
artists, man. No doubt about it.
great.
Love Patti LaBelle. Richard Pryor, of
Such a
course.
great singer.
This Robin, and listen, everybody just saying, man, it's just taking me back to my youth, man. And it's just a time machine. And I love it, man. I'm telling you, I love it. I'm feeling so good right now. Listen, I don't drink or smoke or do anything like that. I'm straight edge. I'm a cornball. But I'm telling you right now, I'm high to the bug right now.
Oh, yeah.
another crazy one, we get a call one Sunday afternoon. Well, we get Sunday morning, I get a call. Goes, okay, you got to come and load up a truck, take a truck of gear down to a club on Broadway in San Francisco called The Stone.
Uh-huh.
The kids are going to be playing there this afternoon. Never didn't know who it was, what was going on, but they wanted a lot more PA than normally in the club.
Right.
So we load up the truck, we go down to The Stone, we load in all this stuff. All of a sudden, man, about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, this little kid comes in like wearing a trench coat with a fucking red bikini thong, and I just thought it was a gay guy from the Castro that was going to be performing. It was Prince doing his first gig ever in San Francisco.
Wow.
Oh my God!
Let me say this. So my stage name is definitely Lord Nelson. I am a Nelson. I have told people forever, even my children. They're all grown now, out of college and everything. I used to say, like, no, Prince, we're related. We are related. Listen, I use that forever, man. I still say somewhere down the line, we're related. And I just think about Prince always saying, when you were speaking about Van Morris, Prince always said he's never done the same show twice.
Yeah.
He just goes up there and may he rest in peace, because I cried when Prince passed. Michael Jackson, I love Michael Jackson too, but when Prince passed, I watched television for straight 24 hours.
Probably the most underrated guitar player.
Oh my!
Oh, he's so great. He was so great.
When he did it with what's my man that they did it? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, with all those guys.
Yeah, listen, that is. See, I got goosebumps again. You want to talk about? I grew up listening to Prince. Prince was just the greatest. There's so much great music. He's such a talented artist, and you guys are 100% correct how great of a guitarist he is or was. And it just, when he played up there, when he went on that stage with all that talent on that stage, and they allowed him to do his thing, and just, you could see them looking at him also in awe. And they are all great musicians. And so, listen, that's one of the greatest. I watch that all the time.
Super Bowl halftime show in history.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The next time I saw him was at Oakland Coliseum. He was headlining 17,500 sold out at Oakland Coliseum. And that went over there, and my friend was doing sound. Dave Natal was doing the sound. Mm-hmm. He EQ'd the snare drum for 3 hours.
Wow.
He
Wow.
stood at the soundboard, had a guy hit the snare drum. And, I mean, so he was pretty intense.
Yes, indeed, man. No, Prince is one of the greatest, most definitely, man. So,
I have there was one of those stories that, I mean, you couldn't even anticipate that this was going to happen.
uh-huh.
A good friend of mine who toured, Rick knows Peter Clark. He was an Irishman in London. Started with a little small lighting company, Super Mick Lights, and ended up lighting all the U.S. acts. CSM Van was Irish, but he'd been living in the U.S. Jackson Brown, CSN, did everybody that came through there, and he ended up lighting uh, Princess Di and Charles, now the King,
Right.
Prince Charles'
Hmm.
wedding. And he used to do the Princess Trust, but he's over here in the U.S. On a tour, and he's like Rick. He's a brother from another mother.
Hmm.
There's just certain guys in this life. You got a couple of them. You can count them. If you count that many, five on one hand, you're really blessed.
Yes, indeed.
And we laugh. That's one of the main things is keeping you on the road is your sense of humor. I'll tell you that, Rick. He's a funny mofo. I'll tell you. We have laughed our ass through this world. Uh, but so Peter Clarkson here, and he's lighting this guy. He says, Fletcher, he says, Ed, I'm in town. Why don't you come down to the gig? And they're playing down San Francisco, and they're staying at the Miyako Hotel. It was a hotel in Japantown section,
Hmm.
right up from Winterland, which was a big deal place back in the day. And anyhow, he says, I'm here with Aunt. I said, who? He says, I'm here with Aunt. I said, Aunt? Who's your aunt? He goes, no, Adamant. I go, oh, I seen that guy. He comes out dressed wearing this rig, like, he's in the Revolutionary War or something. He's
Right.
pardon that, Lord Nelson's. No, he might be related to you, huh? Lord Nelson? Yeah, wait a minute. You are Lord Nelson. So Peter says, come on, come hang out. And I go, not my cup of tea, but all right. I got to see you. And does the show, phenomenal, great lighting company. And then there's the party after. He goes, Ed, he says, the party, Aunt knows how to party. I go, well, I was all about the party in those days.
Right.
I'm just lucky I'm even sitting here sucking wind. And so we went back to the hotel, and they got a hospitality. We used to call it the hostility suite.
Hmm.
And we're in there and partying, drinking, and having little sandwiches, pedophores, and what have you.
Right.
Place is crowded, and I'll tell you, Adam Ant, that guy. He attracted the ladies, and I don't mean to, this was a different time, ladies and
Right.
gentlemen.
Right.
But is it really that different? Come on, no, no, it's not. Anyhow, so he's in there, and I'm just going, wow, I can't believe this guy. It's not my cup of tea, but he really has this thing,
Hmm.
this charisma, and he does it in his music and all that, and then my friend says, okay, stand by me. Stick by me. We're going to take off here with Ant in a second. I go, what? What? And the place is like shoulder to shoulder.
Hmm.
You're like on a subway at rush hour
Yes.
in this room. And then he says, okay, here we go. And he grabs Adam Ant and another bloke. And then we follow him down. And next thing, we're in this limo. I said, where are we going? He said, we're going to go see, he's got a girlfriend that's playing across in Oakland. Next thing, we're going to Oakland Coliseum. We're through the tunnel and driving the limo in,
Hmm.
and right almost up to the VOM where
Right.
you walk out to the stage.
Hmm.
And we get out, and it's Prince. Prince is there. Probably that sold out show Rick was talking
Right.
about.
Right.
And
Is it in the
I'm
round?
going, wow, this is Prince. It was little red Corvette days,
Yeah, the
and
little red Corvette.
and I guess Adam Ant was seeing, I don't know, Apollonia, one of them ladies in Prince's organization up
Right.
on stage. And there I was at Prince concert, and I watched him, and I was just spellbound. Just, it was so great. But just one of those days, something happens, and there you are.
Man,
There you go.
you got listen,
It just sounds like boasting, but I mean,
no, it's see
it's,
with
it's
me.
phenomenal.
No, with me, it's not. It's nothing like that because what I was so excited about when Steve, told me about you, Rick. I was like, Steve, you gotta, because he was really speaking well of you, and I was like, Steve, you gotta call him, man. You gotta call him because I said to myself, like, I want to hear all those things. And once again, I'm so visual. So when you guys are speaking about what you're speaking and the stories that you're telling, I'm there with you. I see it. I feel it. I mean, I really feel that energy. And so it's so exciting to me. People always say, like, why are you laughing so hard? Or why? I was like, because I'm there. So I am more than enthused for you guys to tell your stories. It's just making me feel so good. And I'm such a gigantic, I love Prince so much. He was just great. And I have a lot of friends who really dress like Prince. We were in high school. They were Prince. I could never be there. I was more on the hip hop side of the rap stuff doing what I do. But it was just amazing, man. It really is. So let me ask you this. How has the touring industry changed over the years?
Oh my God. Yes. Just like everything's gone totally corporate, and it's I mean, it's just big business.
Right.
You got a 24/7. This is business now. Before, I mean, in the 80s, it was running on cocaine and fucking, Peruvian marching dust. Crews would be up 23, 24 hours at a time. No one cared.
Right.
Now it's just that just doesn't play. It's just like there's too much money. There's too much at stake, basically, for the bands and for everything else. And now you're everything with a cell phone. You're online. Back then, thank God, it wouldn't go viral.
Right.
The stuff we were doing back then would not. I mean, we'd. I don't want to say we'd all be in jail, but we'd all be in jail.
Of course. but you know what you say about the phones and everything? And so Bones was the first, he was the first front man for Stuck Mojo before I came in. And we went to school together, graduated together. That's my brother. And he brought me into it. But the thing is that when you say phones, I remember Mark Willis, who's our manager, he said, Lord, be careful what goes on.
Man.
There's a phone everywhere. People are watching everything. And I was just like, he's like, you really got to be careful what you do. And so I'm just like, I heeded that warning. But the quick story, we were in North Carolina doing a show, and I told my wife where we were, the cell service was terrible. So as we're coming out of after the show, we're leaving, and I called my wife. I said, hey, babe, how you doing? She's like, how was the show? I said, it was great. She said, did you mention me? I said, of course I mentioned you. She said, no, you didn't. She said, I watched the entire show. They streamed it, right? I was just like, oh my God.
Busted.
I was like, I meant to, but it just took me back to being overseas and what Mark Willis said, like, hey, you got to be in control. You got to know what's going on, because in Europe, as you guys know, you can follow people from country to country. It's like being in the States. And there would be a lot of fans doing that. And there's some stories about certain things happening. I stayed out of trouble. I was good. I just watched a lot. I saw a lot of things. We had a great time, but I stayed out of trouble. I really did.
Oh, man, the stories in the 80s are infamous. Hidden cameras in the back lounge of buses. Right. And oh my God, the Polaroids. One famous story, Metallica crew, some chick wanted passes, so she went in the back lounge to do what she needed, whatever, to get passes. So of course they had it all on Polaroid, and they had the Polaroids in the bus windows.
Right.
So her husband gets out of work, and he's walking by the bus, sees his wife's picture in the bus.
Oh my goodness!
Stuff like that. That was a common occurrence.
Holy catastrophe! Hey, listen. So let me ask you: you guys Do you guys know Dot Stein, who does the massages with her, she bites you?
I know Dot.
You know Dot? Listen, Dot is one of listen, I said you guys probably know Dot too. This is awesome, man. Because I had her on the show too early when I first started my podcast, man. No, she's awesome also.
Oh yeah, masseuse.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So talking about that, how things have changed, what role does technology play in modern live production now?
Well, it's constantly changing. I mean, there's keeping up with technology is, those guys that can do it, my hat's off to them. I'm still in the 80s when it comes to give me an analog board and friggin' graphic EQ and I'm happy. But man, today it's just like, computerized this and that, and lighting guy goes out there, hits one button and everything's, time codes, and it's just one thing I'm glad of is it's eliminated the in-ear monitors have eliminated the stage full of monitors and quieted all that sound down, which is really good for, I think, for everybody involved. But yeah, I mean the technology and it's like a runaway train.
Indeed.
See stuff every day. The guys, guy will call me, sound man will call me, I need this, I need that. Well, okay, well, tomorrow that's going to be obsolete and you're going to need the new thing.
Right.
Just calm your jets and learn how to make one thing work.
Indeed.
Well, we used to advance in the old days. It's funny, I think about it. We always had a bunch of dimes because we go to a payphone, to advance the next show that were coming, and everything was written on like just one of those yellow pads, one of those yellow pads. You write it, you call on a payphone. It was great when you could you advance a show before you write the itineraries, and you have all your information. Here's the hotel. Here's this number. Here's the fax number. You get down to the gig with the address, and here's the backstage phone numbers. It was big time when you had designated production phones. I mean, that was usually on the rider if you got to a certain level. When you get big enough, you can ask for it in the world.
The world, indeed.
But that was big time when you actually had the phones in your room, in your production office, I mean, settling everything, doing settlement is a lot, easier as time went by. We used to pick up the guarantee in cash.
Right.
Walking around with cash.
Yeah.
All of it. Oh, yeah, it was funny. I used to see Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry used to, oh man, he'd go and he'd do the show, before he'd go on stage, he had his hand out, and the promoter was laying his guarantee in his hand, and he finished the show and the crowd was screaming and they want more encores. He's going, the promoters there saying, "Hey, Chuck, go ahead, do another one." He said, more money, and yeah, he was cash and carry, that man.
Wow.
Ed was over yesterday, and we were having a good laugh. And the first van tour we did together, I had a Radio Shack TRS-80 dial-up modem computer on the tour. And the only thing it was good for was the management office could send me the guest list. And that was the only thing that thing was ever good.
I was impressed. Rick was the first guy I ever saw with a piece of electronics that you could think it was like, this is the future. This is going to make our life easier. And then computers happen. Oh my God, it's so different now. Everybody does their itinerary. There's companies, that we shan't mention unless there's some reciprocation, where they'd have you enter all your info, and instead of printing up the itinerary books, they're sent electronically.
Everything's digital, master tour. Everybody, you don't even have any paper to deal with, and
yeah, that's crazy because I still have. I saved it because it was Stuck Mojo, we did things well, but when we got with Volbeat, I saw that it was running a different way.
Yeah.
Just once again, as I said about you, Rick, that well-oiled machine, they had
Yeah.
it. And the thing is that I still have that itinerary book, right? And I would look at it and I was like, everything was in there, our name and everything. And this is a load in, load out, dinner time, this, that. It was beautiful. I was just like, man, but it let me know that there was another level to things. So
now that's on your phone. You just look at your phone,
right.
And everything, the whole day's schedule and all the phone numbers, everything you need is on there.
Man, listen, man, you guys are amazing. So what do artists sometimes not realize about the complexity of touring?
A lot, because they're
everything.
Their heads in a cloud. They don't give it. They have no clue. They're artists, man. It's some of them can be just so out of touch with reality.
Right.
I mean, I had an artist who, I won't mention his name, Dwight Yoakam, but he's such an idiot. He would take a private jet from California, fly to Texas to do a $20,000 guaranteed date in a club, and then call me on Monday and ask me why he lost money on the gig.
That's crazy.
It was just
that was the gas to take that plane, man. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It was insane. And
might have been the tofu you had to cook them after show.
The tofu with that nut butter.
There's a lot, so many guys that are anybody that's still around and been through. I mean, especially if you were around in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, it was seat of the pants then. And like Rick was saying just shortly ago about how it's very corporate. I mean, it has a lot of good, as far as production level, things you need, making the shows sound good. I mean, an arena sound like a record. The needs of the artists are fulfilled. You want them comfortable, and you want things to seem like, okay, you're going to walk in this door, the switch to the lights is on the right. You can walk over here. There's a desk. There's there's a certain level to making it, to achieving a normalcy each day, something comfort, a comfort level, a knowing level, where you are and how you're going to do your show. And I mean, if it's smooth, it's it's great. It takes the stress of living on the road out of things. And the corporate structure now, I mean, there's it's double-edged sword, but the good news is how slick. Get out of here, kitty. I got a cat. But how everything is a lot smoother and easier and already resourced by the time you get to the venue, to the hotel, what have you. But what do the artists, not know? Oh God, when things go wrong and you just as they're walking in the door, you're smoothing out the carpet, and it's like, don't let them see you sweat.
Right.
You just make it like it's nothing to it. That's the gig. You make it happen no matter what. Yeah.
You guys are professionals, man, and that's love. So what keeps you passionate about the industry after all these years?
Somebody will still have me.
We're not talking about your wife, man. We're not talking about
my phone still rings and people ask me if I can do a gig. So I mean, it is different, but it's still what I've always done. I love it. I've always loved it. Whatever that thing is that you're behind the scenes and like you say, you're making it happen and you're giving people an hour or hour and a half of escape from their, boring lives. You just, that's the only thing that you can take with you at the end of the night, really, is that knowing that, you have provided something for the audience that they weren't going to get otherwise. So
Right.
that's really what keeps me doing it.
Beautiful.
And the love of the music,
Music.
whatever its format. Rick and
Hate
I have
music.
we've worked, God, a number of shows. We used to do this radio event
God.
that Chuck Lutz, who Rick had mentioned, a good friend of ours, who's gone on to the great beyond. It was a radio show turned into, everybody wanted to showcase their artists. They thought this is a industry people are held captive, at this event. It was a convention. And we've worked and seen so many different people who you never heard of in the next thing. If they were on that thing, they were either they're big or they're gonna be big,
Blow up,
you know. I
Mhm.
mean, we saw Chris Cross come in.
Mhm.
Well,
And every year Ed would put me in charge of the rap room.
yeah, yeah.
Buddy.
Oh man, the boot camp gang
God.
that time.
Boot
Oh
camp
man,
Craig.
when yeah.
Yeah.
They'd be coming on and Lauryn Hill, from the Fugees.
Yes.
They were down there. I mean, we had Herbie Hancock with
Oh,
Jack
man.
DeJohnette. Joni Mitchell's been there. Then there's been people, Tony Bennett, the biggest thing. One of my
Really?
favorite pictures was a picture with Tony Bennett. Oh my God.
Awesome.
What that guy, was on top of his notes.
Yes. So what a singer.
Even
Yes.
to be an old man. Our pal, we had went and saw some friends of ours last night who have reworked the brand and are just kicking ass. Jefferson Starship,
Right.
and David Freiberg, who was in Quicksilver Messenger Service and Jefferson Starship. He was in the airplane and the Starship.
Mhm.
He's 87 and he's out there singing Jane and Sarah. We
Hitting the
built
notes.
this city on rock and roll, and then
Yes,
they're doing the
indeed.
whole White Rabbit and all this. I mean, but really
Awesome.
great. Really, he's kicking ass. 87. Tony Bennett was like that. He was on top of his note into his senior golden years.
Yes.
I mean, what a guy. But
Real
we
singers. I
had
mean, can truly sing. Yeah.
oh man, could he sing? Man, could he sing? But there was introduction people we'd never seen on Valentine's Day, and it was 1997. We were doing this show at the Hyatt in New Orleans, and the big thing was we introduced the Spice Girls
Mm-hmm.
on Valentine's Day at midnight to, programmers, directors, owners of stations, the media. It was a that type of event.
Right.
And Joni Mitchell. Oh God, there was Spinal Tap. We
Spinal
did
Tap.
Spinal Tap was there one year.
Wow.
It was incredible. Some of the greats. Pink. Never heard of Pink. Boom. The next thing, she was huge.
Massive.
She
Yes,
was
indeed.
huge. Well, some of the strings. There was a bunch of there was, and it turned. It really had a great effect for the playability and the rotations and stuff for hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
It was called the Gavin Convention. It started off in 1958 as a 2-page mimeograph in trends and spins and predictions, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me, and then developed into something so much more. Yeah, we had great times there. Great artists.
Man,
Oh, it was fabulous.
And I know you guys you're just touching the surface is what's so wild. Oh, listen to me when I'm telling you this. And I'm not trying to gas you guys up or anything like this. This is one of the best conversations that I've had on my podcast. And I'm telling you, I love it, love it, love it. You guys have had me go through so many emotions, man, just talking about these artists that I love. And whether they're, were small and then they grew to being just gigantic artists. You guys have talked about some of the greatest artists that have ever been. And so, and there's so many more. So I just wanted you guys to know this is amazing, amazing, amazing. So when you look back at your career so far, what are you most proud of?
Raising my daughter. Just I'm still here, I guess.
Yes.
Exactly. Waking up this morning.
Yes.
Big deal. That's
Thank
a big
you.
deal.
Yes.
So many of our friends aren't, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Me going through things and looking at the pictures and going through, and I see some of the, and I put one of the pictures there that you were with. It was an Asian young man that passed, and I'm reading the stuff that you're saying, whatever, and then I'm looking at a lot of people have left. I just lost a really good friend a couple of weeks ago, and you just say to yourself, you got to be thankful and grateful for another day. And of course, Rick, I was speaking with you earlier, and something that I tell my wife on a regular basis. I was just like, you're still here. You don't want to hear that sometimes, but you're still here. You're going through some things, but you're still here. So I am thankful and grateful for every single day. People always say, like, why are you always so happy? Like, I'm sad sometimes, I'm not saying I'm depressed. I can't say I've been depressed, but sometimes I'm down.
Hey,
but I
life
just
is
know
too short.
that I have another day to be better. Another opportunity to speak to you guys. That is thrilling for me. It really is. And once again, I just really want to thank you guys, man. This is amazing. So, what are some goals or projects you're still excited to take on?
Well, I got a big tour this summer, and I'm excited about that. And
talk about it. I wanted you to talk about it.
Anybody's into Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band, we'll be touring.
Coral Reefer Band.
Touring starting June. We go to West Palm Beach June 15th. Then we rehearse in Nashville and start the summer tour July 9th in Pennsylvania, and go to August 9th and work all the way down the East Coast over to Texas, back up to Chicago, and back over to Boston for a month.
You with the Doobie Brothers, right?
No, that was
I did the Doobie Brothers.
You did the Doobie Brothers.
I was their tour manager. I retired. I've been off the road 10 years. The last tour dates I did was with Huey, and Rick was on that.
Yes.
I just was doing fill-in for Lowell Halsey. And, that was 2015. My wife had finally called in. She had her own career in insurance, was raising the kids, taking them to, to band, to, all the different things, scouts and what have you. And, and I'm going on the road and, something ain't right. I'm raising Cain, and she just goes, listen, you're loud when you have a man cold, oh, honey, I don't feel good. It's all about me. Anyhow, the Doobie Brothers were great. I did my last 18 years with the Doobie Brothers, tour managing them. Great band. They're still touring, and they're better. I was in a band in 1971 who opened for the Doobie Brothers in the Santa Cruz Mountains at a place called what was that place in Ben Lomond? The lodge. Oh God. See, that's another thing. I think sometimes I should go back on the road, but I can't remember what I ate. I get us in the wrong town, But it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure, really blessed to have worked with, like with Van, the Doobie Brothers, just really talented musicians, and all. Everybody had their crazy days, Everybody had them, and the only reason we're here is because you know you kind of woke up and started to get your act in line.
Life
You
lessons,
know,
baby. Life lessons.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you need to. But I'll tell you, some of the best musicians going. If you get a chance to see the Doobie Brothers, they just have talent. Michael McDonald's been playing back again with them for the last couple of years. There's a man who is so talented and such a kind person.
Unbelievable.
He is a wonderful human being. He's played with everybody. He is one of the most humble guys I've ever met. As everybody in that band is just so down to earth.
Right.
They've been there. They've played the arenas. They've played the stadiums. And there's times where it disappeared again. I mean, everything is cyclical,
Right.
and they keep going. And I'll tell you, it's really a treat to hear their music. Really, really something. Van Morrison, he's great singer. What can I say? I love his stuff. His stuff is timeless. I just lost a guy. I forget some of the stuff depending on the era
Mm-hmm.
and what I was doing. I didn't have my nose into a book, but so to speak. But a guy named Joe McDonald, Country Joe McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
He just passed away Saturday a week ago.
Wow.
And he was 84.
Mm.
And I went first time I ever went to Australia was with Joe, and I went to Japan. This is 1976. We did this gig. Oh man, here's a great gig. God bless Joe. Godspeed. He was the guy. For those who don't know, back in the Woodstock days, he was at Woodstock.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a tune that became anthemic during the Vietnam War era. It was called "Feel Like I'm Fixing to Die Rag."
Mm-hmm.
And it started off, "Give me an F, give me a U, give me a C, give me a K. What's that spell?" And it was in the days of the anarchy, the standing up, the questioning things. But I worked for him during a period where it was just saving the whales, save the whales, spend them as quick as I get them.
Yeah.
But we did a show, and it was an ensemble review. And it was Joni Mitchell was on the bill, Country Joe, guys called they were Steps then, which were really the Brecker brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Joni Mitchell had Jaco Pastorius in her band on bass, and I don't know if anybody's not heard of Jaco Pastorius. Now he passed away long ago.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I had a couple adventures or misadventures with Jaco. He changed the musicality of a bass guitar. He changed the instrument. But there's these just instances, you say, waking up. Yeah, waking up and getting to do this. You don't even know what's happening. And bam, you're there in a moment.
Right.
In a magical moment of this exchange, this music, and whatever part you play in it is a vital part.
Right.
Production manager, roadie, stage manager, tour manager, the bass player, the singer, whatever, it takes, there's the original, it takes a village.
Right.
It takes everything, and everybody is necessary. Everybody is vital for it to happen in a production sense.
True.
For the music that day, the magic. And that magic happens. And it still happens. I got goosebumps now, just, coming out of me thinking about some of those things. Yeah. But that was a great event. I could go on and on. I wasn't supposed to talk. I thought I was just going to be
listen,
listening to Rick.
When Rick wanted you to be here, I knew listen, it was special. So he said you were that guy also. So and you have
Oh,
been and
he's the dude. He's the
listen,
dude.
both
Let
of you
me
guys
tell
are the
you.
dudes, man. And I'm listen. When I talk to Steve, I'll talk to him soon after. But I'm gonna be like, Steve, it was just amazing, man. But you just said something that I like to say a lot is that when we do things like the band or with all of the people that are the moving parts of the band, all of that is one. It's not like you're in the moment, you are the moment. And all the fans want to be a part of that moment that you're
Right.
creating. And then when you invite them to that moment and everybody is one,
Right.
Awesome.
it's another world. You know,
That's right.
and I tell people I don't look at it the other way. I just say like, no, this is my moment, and I want them to be a part of my moment. This is about so it's just love. So you saying that so eloquently and beautifully, man, it was amazing, man. Thank you very much. So now we're getting close to the end. I don't want to end, but we're getting close to the end.
We'll do it again, brother.
I'm being honest. And so when the lights go down and the crowd is cheering, and you might have touched on this a little bit, what does that moment, here we go, feel like for you as the person help making it all happen?
Feels great because that's what you were there for to do. You know, so it's like a sense of accomplishment. You just, that's why you're doing what you're doing. So
Right, right.
it's great.
Indeed.
I always went. There's usually never been a date and all that, and I've been on the road. Thankfully, I had some pretty good runs of working with some very talented artists, and and none of it, it was not planned. My life is not a planned event.
Right.
Uh, it's like the twig going down the river. It's taken me so many places. Uh, what's a higher lesson? I always went out into the theater, into the arena, into the stadium, into the throng. I've done shows where there's been 100,000 people and
Right.
humanity is away. That can be a little intimidating,
Mm-hmm.
to say the least. That's a lot of, you feel it,
Right.
It's alive. But I always go out to hear the sound of what this is because I love the music.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're here. And what we've done, and believe me, I have my days where I piss and moan
Of course.
plenty, but we created the platform for that to happen, for the artists to communicate, and that's really the thing. It doesn't matter the genre
Mm-hmm.
of the music. Doesn't matter the beat. There's something about each and every genre,
Right.
you know. From God, listening to Hiromi play piano. I mean, she's percussive crazy. I don't know if you know her. What what an incredible player.
Mm-hmm.
Or hearing the Doobie Brothers when they're going and they're closing the show,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear the crowd singing, "Whoa, whoa, listen to the
To the
music."
music.
And thousands and thousands of people are right there.
Oh my
You put the
goodness, man.
artist, you name the artist, they're singing that artist's tune. Every artist has some of those anthemic tunes
Yeah.
that we just adopted and loved. And that's the thing. For me, hearing the music, I saw the Beatles
Mm-hmm.
for, I think it was $3.25 back
Wow.
in 1966.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Beach Boys. I see James Brown. I've stood on the stage with James Brown, you know. I mean, before he passed,
Mm-hmm.
we've done shows, multi-stage shows, and I said, "Get me over to James's thing." With Van. Van had Pee Wee Ellis playing saxophone, who
Mm-hmm.
played with James and Maceo,
Right.
and Fred Wesley, and he played with Bobby Blue Bland, and he played with Ray Charles, and he played, and I got to go with him. I went down to Sarah Vaughan.
Sarah Vaughan.
You're making me trip out. I wasn't about to trip
No,
out on
go
all
ahead.
this,
Go ahead, man.
but the
Preach,
magic,
brother.
the magic of the players. Pee Wee's passed on now. You know, we're getting to that time. You know, where those that have been around a long time are going, and you know, I could be next.
Right.
You know, there's no guarantees in this life,
That's
but
right.
sure, it's been sweet. I'll
Yes.
tell you, and that music and getting your thing, getting to do your thing, or helping somebody do their thing, and it communicates and it brings a mass of humanity together and just have a good time, and they're elated and it lifts their spirits. I think you know, that's it for me.
Yeah, you escape. You know, when people come to the show or when we go to shows, it's like an escape for an
Yeah,
hour or two or three or whatever it is. You know,
yeah,
you get
Well,
to
it
just
is.
enjoy yourself. And once again, I think music is the greatest time machine in the world. I always say it,
hmm
and
yeah.
I just love it. And once again, I'm telling you guys, this has been one of the best times that I've had, and I've done a lot of shows. I don't even know how many shows I've done. I've done a lot of them, but this has been one of the greatest shows that I've had, and I want to thank you guys so very, very, very much. So my
Appreciate that.
last question for both of you is, what's the last song you listened to?
What was Starship by Jane last night?
Yeah, yeah.
Last
They
night
were
at
good,
Starship.
man. They were really, really good last night. You know, they've, you know, if you put it into the corporate lingo, and I was speaking with their manager last night, just happened to go in the room. Hey, so and so, you met Eric before, and I said, oh, you know, and I don't remember what I eat today, uh, and I just said, hi, we met. That's great. We just start chit chatting. And I just said, you know, how great they said. I mean, and some of these guys are my friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know Donnie and David for a long time. You know, Jude Gold, just tremendous guitarist. He's great. And Kathy Richardson, I mean, you know, she took this thing and she really taken and regrown the brand, is how they would say it in corporate speak. But it's so good. She comes across and she works the room and the audience, and she brings the people into it. And to see our friend David Freiberg last night
Dave Roberts.
singing Jane at 87, and I mean on his notes and kicking ass and taking names.
Wow.
You know, that was something. You know, and I could go and I could sit and listen. You know, to Miles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, to Kind of Blue. I mean, one of my all-time favorite records. I
Oh
mean,
my
what's your
goodness.
favorite record? All of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyhow, I shut up.
You listen. You guys, man, you taking me on a roller coaster ride, and it's been one of the most enjoyable rides that I've had, man. And I really appreciate it. And I'll do my little spill here and get us on out of there. But man, this is amazing. So
And we even hit on my heavy metal years.
listen.
Yeah, what about Dawkins?
Dawkins,
Right.
Dawkins.
Aerosmith, AC/DC.
So let me say this. Rick, I would really, because we could continue to go on and on and on. I really would love you to come back, Ed, both of you guys come back, and let's talk about just the metal years. Let's just focus on that, if you would. You know, when you get the opportunity, I would be more than honored to have you back. This has just been crazy. And listen, I'm probably gonna have to put this in two parts, man, because I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna talk so much about it that people really need to listen to this, man.
I
But
appreciate that.
listen, this has been so great.
It's an honor to hook up with you, man.
Oh man, thank you so much, man. So I got to tell you guys, this has been a fantastic conversation. You've really given our listeners and viewers a rare look into a side of music industry that most people never get to see. The hard work, the organization, the dedication, and the passion it takes to make a tour of a live production come to life. And so many times people see the artist on stage, they hear the music, they feel the energy of the crowd, but tonight you've helped us understand the team. And I know Corey Lowry, who plays for Seether now, my brother, one of the great ones, he always tells me about the team. And so the planning and the professionals behind the curtain who make that magic possible is just incredible. And that's what this show is about. sharing the stories of the people who help, share the soundtrack of our lives. So Rick and Ed, man, thank you so much for taking the time to come on Live and Live with the Lord and share your journey, your experience, and your insight into this incredible industry. And to everyone out there watching and listening around the world, this has been Live and Live with the Lord. Nelson, that is, powered by the Crown Gas Network and brought to you by 5 Royals ENT. And if you enjoyed this conversation, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and share with your friends, your family, and all the music lovers in your life, because we've got many more great conversations coming your way, and we've got to bring these guys back, man, indeed. And as always, thank you for taking the time to spend some time. And until next time, remember that music, no matter the genre, is universal and the greatest high and time machine we know. Take care, everybody. I appreciate you so much. One love. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
Woo, man, Rick and Ed, man, you guys are so amazing.
Turn it up. You're listening to Live and Loud with the Lord, Nelson, that is.
Hello, everybody. It's Doro Pesh, and you are listening, and you see the Lord Nelson, and I love him. He's awesome. So keep on watching, keep on listening, and lots of love and metal, and have a great time.